Hello, everybody out there. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. I know, weird, right? I was just here yesterday. Crazy, right? Hope you're all doing well. Hope that everyone out there is doing absolutely fantastic. And that you're all having a great day. Do not forget to leave a like on the video. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. I say it every day because it's true. Weird, right? And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Don't know if you've, maybe heard about this once or twice. Companies are buying huge amounts of Bitcoin. I know it sounds weird, and you might not have heard those words fitted together previously, but it's true. Surprising, right? Yes. We are on some type of corporatization of cryptocurrency assets as quickly as humanly possible kind of trend right now. And what we're seeing is in real time is that companies are desperate to buy as much Bitcoin, and I dare say, crypto, as much as they possibly can. We've been discussing that a little bit more, a little bit more than usual here, and that's because of the way that current economic movements are being done is that we are seeing there are a large amount of players around the world who are choosing to de-dollarize. The futuristic aspect of that just happens to be that they're choosing to throw billions and I dare even say trillions of dollars into Bitcoin in this instance, in this conversation that we are having. It is having a very dramatic effect on prices. It's having a strong effect on supply, on what's available, what people are going to be able to have in the future. This was must have been a month and a half. Was it a month and a half ago? We had two stories that popped up. One with an analyst saying, he said, if you are holding a tenth of a Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin, you are basically you are not even set for life. You have set yourself and your family up for complete success. And then another one was talking about, he went more in depth in the numbers and the amount of crypto and Bitcoin these companies were buying, the trend of where this is going. And basically by 2028, he was saying it would then mathematically, not in a, wishful thinking kind of way, but more so in a mathematical sense, it would then be impossible for anyone, 99% of people on the planet, to even have 0.01, so 1/100th of a complete Bitcoin. And this is the future I see that we are rapidly hurtling towards right now. Exchange traded products for Bitcoin now hold more than 1.47 million Bitcoin, amounting to 7% of the cryptocurrency's maximum 21 million coin supply. I must also remind you as well, there are not and will never be 21 million Bitcoin circulating in two ways, in the computerized way and also in the human way. The computerized way, for those of you who don't know, the actual maximum supply of Bitcoin, I believe, is a 20,999,999, but people round up because 21 million sounds a lot easier to say on the news than well, you know, Pat, there's only ever going to be 29,999,999. It doesn't have that same kind of ring to it. That's the computer way. And then the human way is that 4 to 6 million Bitcoin are lost. Yes, in the early days, it was extremely easy to mine Bitcoin. You were able to use a laptop from 2005 to mine Bitcoin, if you can believe it. And then eventually it got more difficult to do. So a lot of people, the original Bitcoin mining people, they mined huge amounts of Bitcoin. They forgot about them. They lost those coins. Those coins have not moved in just about 16 years. So they're gone. So the 7% is actually a lot higher. And this is why I keep ringing the alarm bells, because these are just Bitcoin exchange traded products. Yes, these are not the public companies. These are not the private companies. These are not the governments. These are not the mega investors. These are not the, the wallet addresses that accumulate 100 Bitcoin per day. These are just ETPs, otherwise known as ETFs. They are ET products. You got it. US-based exchange-traded funds for Bitcoin have scooped up the largest share, with their holdings exceeding 1.29 million Bitcoin, held across 11 funds. 11. These are not 5,000 ETFs. These are 11 within the United States have 1.29 million. This is according to data on Twitter by the company HODL15 Capital. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, known as IBIT, held the most of any fund. They currently have 746,810 Bitcoin, while Fidelity currently has 199,500 Bitcoin. We are witnessing in real time the corporatization of this market. We are seeing that the world reserve currency, the US dollar, potentially, from the news that we've been getting, probably only has a couple more years left as a dominant currency on this planet. At the same exact time, the largest companies and governments on the planet are all announcing that they're buying up huge amounts of Bitcoin. These are just the workings of what we're seeing from the last year and a half. Yeah, I know. So, the interesting part is going to be, as the accumulation appears to be relentless, they show no signs of stopping anytime soon. By the time we get to the end of next year, it's going to be even more dramatic, because don't forget, we continue to have companies announcing every single day that they're going to be buying more Bitcoin. And we just had a couple of them. A lot of the ones who do make the news recently, if you've been paying attention, they tend to announce, we are trying, we're going to put, $37 million into Bitcoin, just to see, seems kind of fun. Other companies are announcing from the get-go, our goal is 21,000 Bitcoin. We are going to have 210,000 Bitcoin, with many of them having that time frame by 2027. Like, I want to say nearly all of them have expressed their money raising now, and they've all basically said by 2027 they will have reached their goal. And last thought, if these companies do reach their goal by the beginning of 2027, there will then be no Bitcoin left. Why, you might ask? Well, it's because more than a handful of them have all said they want 210,000 Bitcoin, many of them saying 21,000 Bitcoin. And the accumulation of the other 200 plus companies would basically add up to 0 Bitcoin left, as there's not that much left on the OTC markets. I think there's 140,000, like 140,000 that's left on OTC, and actually left on crypto exchanges in general is around a million or so. So fun price times ahead. Yeah. That's the ETFs did exactly what I thought that they were going to do, and that's just the ETFs. That's not even talking about like corporations who've been buying like, actual Bitcoin, not shares in an ETF. So I assume the number's even more dramatic than that. Okie dokie. Yeah. Let's move on. I guess keeping up with the theme of the holiday season of crypto and everything else around it. The seemingly renewed or extra renewed interest in ETFs has kicked off once again. Yes, I know, weird, right? It's almost like we've been hearing about this for the last 9,000 days. There are expectations. Here's a new one. You want this one? There are expectations that as we continue to slide on through September into October, that we are by next year. This was said by, I think, James Seifert, one of the ETF analysts. He said he's expecting, if we get some or more of these things approved in the next couple of weeks, it'll like kick open the floodgates. It won't like be like a small. He said he's then expecting by next summer that in the United States we would have hundreds of crypto, altcoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum ETFs all being active, which would then, make a lot more sense for the $25,000 Ethereum that we have been hearing about. Grayscale is back in the news, and the significance is their Grayscale. Grayscale, historically, recently, as far as we've been able to see, kind of gets what they want. And I say that loosely. It's just more of when they announce that they're applying for something, people tend to pay attention because more than likely they will get it. And they're pushing a lot of altcoins into the open for people to begin to again pay attention to at the possibility of it being turned into an ETF. Grayscale Investments has filed comprehensive S-1 registration forms with the US SEC for a Polkadot and a Cardano exchange-traded fund. Polkadot, for those of you who weren't here years ago, was kind of touted as like a Polygon, another layered, quicker, faster scaling Ethereum solution and all these other kinds of things. The project was very popular 5 years ago, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. I mean, it was extremely, extremely popular. And then it kind of dropped out of the news. Like there's been no Polkadot news. There's been no updates. There's been nothing kind of from them. The Grayscale Cardano Trust ETF called GADA and the Grayscale Polkadot Trust ETF joined a crowded field of 92 pending crypto ETF applications currently awaiting regulatory approval. Both trusts were incorporated as Delaware statutory trusts on the 12th of August. Wow. Following Grayscale's established pattern of Delaware registrations preceding SEC commissions, the Cardano ETF would trade on the New York Stock Exchange ARCA under GADA, while specific details for Polkadot remain pending on the final approval. The filings arrive as prediction markets surge with optimism for the approval of altcoin ETFs. Solana apparently has a 99% approval odds, up from 72%. Currently, the guesstimations are that Solana and XRP are going to get the most ETF approved. Logically speaking, I believe they also have the most filings as of right now. I think XRP has more, but Solana, for whatever reason, is also up there as well. So If the US SEC hasn't been lying, we are probably going to see a wide range of these ETFs actually end up getting approved based on their new 6-month rule. If you missed that one, the SEC said, and I, have to reiterate because it's very important because it literally changes the entire idea of the landscape of what needs to be done. Previously, you had to wait and pray and cross your fingers and toes and hope that Gary Gensler wasn't going to be a monster. And spoiler, he was every single time. Apparently, before it was basically up to the SEC and Gary Gensler and his complete discretion as to if he wanted something, which he didn't. The SEC said in summer, like hot summer, a couple of weeks ago, that basically if a coin has had a futures market or any kind of a derivative of its coin that has been on a major futures platform, they listed the Coinbase in their paperwork. They said if you have a coin, let's say Cardano, and it has a futures on Coinbase, thumbs up, and it's been there for longer than 6 months, it would basically guarantee immediate approval upon actually filing. So this will be fascinating to see if the SEC holds true to their words, if they're going to continue kicking stuff down the road. But, I'm trying to believe what they have said. So, yeah, as time slowly moves forward, let's see exactly how not lying they actually were. Because if we do end up getting a whole bunch, really, if we get a bunch of those, across the board, it's like 16 different altcoins approved, especially in October. Jeez Louise, my gosh. I had to cough and I had a hiccup at the same time. Like, what in the world was that? Okay, anyway. Prices would do well. That was kind of what I was leading up to. Anyway, yeah. I think that's going to do it for this video, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hope that everyone out there is having a fantastic day. Thank you all, every single one of you, for watching, listening, liking, and subscribing and supporting in your own way. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.